Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Carrie Rad, and if you've been here before, welcome on back. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 10 ways to create more freedom in your everyday life. I think right now in life, we're all kind of reassessing our situations. I feel like it's kind of that time where everyone's taking a good look at their life and reevaluating what works for them. I won't get too carried away in the intro because the title is self-explanatory, but thank you to VIP Kid for sponsoring today's video, but more about them later. Let's talk about creating more freedom and abundance in your everyday life. And the first one I want to mention is to remove distractions. Distractions vary from person to person. What you feel is a distraction to you might not be a distraction to another person. And you kind of just have to reflect on your life and think, what is consuming most of my time that's not really helping me grow or move up or become more successful or smarter or any of these things. And of course, taking time to just unplug and not feel like we need to further ourselves in any way is extremely important. But for me, when I reevaluated and kind of took a step back, I realized that my husband and I were spending tons of time watching Netflix, and in 2020 we just binged everything, and I think we were with the rest of the world on that. When we moved to New Zealand, we sold our television, and so it kind of like bumped us in the direction of watching less television. We really haven't watched anything for the last 5 months, which is crazy to think about, because when I reflect on what we were doing in 2020, we would spend like 5 hours a night binging, and we're just using that time in different ways now, and I feel like I've reclaimed that time and that freedom at the end of the night. And so I guess you can just think about for yourself, what is it that I'm spending tons of time on that I could kind of shift? What can easily happen is at the end of a day, we can be like, how is the entire day gone? Or on the weekends, especially when you're just kind of chilling and relaxing, and maybe you turn on Netflix and you realize by the end of the day, like, how did we just binge all of these different series? We've completely lost the day. So it's just paying attention to what those distractions might be in your life. My second tip is to remove debt. And trust me, you guys, I know how difficult this one can be. I'm not afraid to talk about finances with you guys. I've created many different videos about how to remove debt and how to save money. And I think that this is such an important topic. Our well-being depends on also having financial freedom in our lives, and having financial difficulties can really weigh on us. Now, how much money we make shouldn't be something that we look at to assess our self-worth. It's completely disconnected with who we are. But because we're talking about freedom and abundance, paying down debt and being able to save money is going to directly affect how free we feel in our life. Paying down debts can be difficult whether we're a student or sometimes even just our full-time jobs aren't cutting it for being able to pay down debt. This is where VIP Kid comes in. One of the best ways to pay down your debt is to think about your streams of income and how you can add more income streams coming in, because maybe your full-time job just isn't cutting it in paying down debt. Also, maybe freedom to you looks like being able to work from home. VIP Kid is a platform where people in the US and Canada can teach kids in China English. When VIP Kid reached out, I knew it was something that I wanted to share with you guys because of the questions I get revolving around freedom and abundance and being able to work from home and kind of just having more flexibility in our lives. VIP Kid is essentially a teaching job from the comfort of your own home. The classes are 25 minutes and there's not much prep beforehand. You can essentially work from anywhere you want as long as the location is covered by high-speed internet. I just want to reiterate that there is no class prep or curriculum preparation that you need to do, which is huge. It saves you so much time and you can just hop on and start making money. First thing that you'll have to do though is fill out their basic info form. So I'm going to leave the list in my description box, and they tell you loud and clear how much you can make, which is awesome. Teachers can earn service payments, which are the equivalent to $14 to $22 per hour. The only things you'll need to become a teacher at VIP Kid are a bachelor's degree, at least 2 years experience working with children, and eligibility to work in the US or Canada. I do want to mention that time zones are really important here, because if you are Pacific Standard Time and you're not a morning person, then teaching for VIP Kid might not be for you. But if you are Pacific Standard Time and you want to make some money and get some work in before your kids wake up or before you go to your full-time job, then this is definitely something that would be interesting to you. And if you are East Coast and you are interested in this, and it's a bit easier, it's still morning time, but definitely look into their time zones and find out which will work for you. And if you're able to do it, definitely check out the link in the description box to learn more, to make some side income or make it your full-time job and have more flexibility from home. Tip number 3, get rid of everything you don't need. This is a huge one to clear space in your mind, to feel more free in your everyday life. When we have too much stuff, it's hard to function and think clearly throughout life. You know those cubby holes in your house that you just open up and you're just like, what is all of this stuff? All of that stuff is just living within your mind in your everyday. You know, when you open up your junk drawer in the kitchen and you're just like, what is all of this? And it's just like this doomed drawer. I definitely had that in our house in California. We were able to get rid of so many things that we didn't need, sell things, donate them before coming to New Zealand. So we are a lot lighter, but I see us, as soon as we get into our new place, just getting rid of a whole bunch of other stuff, because it really does feel so great and so freeing to remove all the unnecessary things that we don't need in our lives. Tip number 4, set boundaries for the toxic people in your life. This can be hard to do, and it definitely becomes easier to do with time, with growing as a person, maturing. It comes with just aging. I know for me, I didn't know how to set boundaries when I was younger, but as I grew older, it became much easier for me. I don't have a lot of toxic people in my life, but that's essentially because I've put boundaries up on the people who were toxic. So it's either just kind of coming to terms with, okay, how distant can I keep this person who's unkind to me, or this person who sucks my energy, and kind of just like evaluating how we can put up the boundaries that we need to protect ourselves and our sanity, our well-being, because I think as people, we work so hard to create peace in our lives. And if you watch my channel, then you are definitely one of those people, because you are seeking out how to be the best that you can be. And so we really have to be mindful of how toxic people in our life can be detrimental to our own peace. And everybody deserves peace, love, and kindness. So putting up those boundaries where need be is just so important. Tip number 5, stop managing everybody else. And this is one that I need to say to myself as well. I am not only a Virgo, but I am also a highly sensitive person. So when I see two people communicating, I am highly sensitive to how each person feels. So if person A makes person B feel bad, then I can pick up on that, and I tend to talk to person A, especially if they are close to me, and I essentially manage them, and I say like, hey, like next time don't say something like that because you made that person feel this way. And to a certain extent, it is good to be this way and to be empathetic and to know how people are feeling. I have a tendency to really read a room and can really feel how people are feeling. And if you are any of these highly sensitive people, then you totally understand where I'm coming from. And I have really learned to let go of me feeling like I need to, you know, help everybody get along. That's not my responsibility. And so we have to learn to stop managing people, because if I'm constantly wondering and worrying about how everybody's feeling and making sure that like everybody's peaceful, then I don't have my own freedom. Tip number 6 is to try something new every week. When we're trying new things, we are just feeling like there's more flow to our life, there's more abundance, we're learning new things, and it just makes us feel more flexible with change. And I just think it's such a great thing to be a person who is open to new adventures. If somebody invites you to go do something that you've never done before, try not to say no just because you've never done it before. Even if it's something that you think that you won't like, or even if it's something you know you won't like, at least you're giving it a try, because you never know in what ways it might fulfill you. Guys, I cannot tell you how badly I need to take this next tip, which is tip 7. Whenever I give you guys these tips, it's also me like looking at myself in the mirror and going, okay, how can I become better in this way? So I not only make these videos for you guys, I make them for me too, because when I sit here and I talk about them, then I'm like, yep, and I'm super inspired by it, and I learn from them too. And this next one is to clear your inbox. My inbox is insane right now. I don't even want to tell you guys how many I have in there. It's about like 20,000 or something insane like that. And Alex the other day saw that and was like, you need to clear your inbox. So I added this to my list because as soon as I clear my inbox, which will be soon, I will feel so much more freedom in even just my cell phone. But it's something that I pick up every day and I look at the inbox and I'm just like, I've gotten used to how many messages I have in there, but I just need to clear them out because the moment that I do, I will just feel so much lighter and so much freer. Number 8, to get rid of commitments that feel like obligations. I love this one. I think at my day and age, like who I am today, and this started probably about 2 years ago, where I just started going, I'm not gonna go somewhere that I don't wanna go just because I think I need to go. This was really something that I started to realize when I was living in LA. There were a lot of these events that people would go to all of the time, and I felt obligated to go even though I didn't want to go. And I would just go to them all the time, and it would just really drain my energy because I'm not a small talk kind of person. I didn't feel like at the time I really wanted to network. I feel like I had done my fair share of networking and I just wasn't in that headspace at the time, and it does just kind of really like take so much out of you. And I finally got to this, this state of mind where I was just like, I'm not going to continue going to these things if I don't want to, because I just don't want to. Why do I feel like I have to go? So that was the day that I kind of, just started declining the ones that I didn't want to go to and saying yes to the ones that I did, but just really cutting it down to like 70% of them I wasn't attending. And I implement that into my life now. I think that now here living in New Zealand, I'm more like a say yes kind of girl. If somebody invites me somewhere, I'm likely going to say yes just because I'm trying to create new friendships. And so it really just depends on where you are in life. But I think when you feel very obligated to something and you don't really want to go, then that is a really great sign to just say no. Second to last, number 9, stop worrying about what other people think of your choices. I know that this is easier said than done, but once we can gain that confidence in our lives and go, okay, well, this is my choice, my life, this certain thing makes me happy, whether it be career, whether it be relationship, it could be really anything. You just have to realize that this is my choice and this is what I want to do. I know for me, I've said this before, but when I started my YouTube channel, I used to not tell anybody about it. Nobody knew I started a YouTube channel because I cared about what other people thought. And then once it was at a certain place, then I started telling everybody, but nobody knew for a very long time. And I'm glad that I kept that as a secret, but I don't think I needed to be so secretive. I was just so mortified by what other people would think. As soon as I released that and spread my wings and became a butterfly, then it just started to take off, and it just felt so good to just kind of like be out there with it and not make it such a big deal, because at the end of the day, people actually don't care. People care so much about what you're doing with your life, and that's their own problem. At least you're putting yourself out there in the arena. That's something that my husband always says. He's like, we're out here in the arena doing our thing. People can be critics, they can think what they want, but we're out here doing. And I think that's really important to remember when you're worried about what other people are thinking of you and your choices. At least you're making those choices for you, you're being brave in whatever that might be, and you're just going for it, you're creating abundance in your life, and you're doing good. And just don't even think about what other people are thinking. Just keep working on it, and the more you work on it, the better you'll get at it. I saved one of the very best for last, and that is the tip to allow yourself to be vulnerable. This will create so much more freedom in your life, in your mind, in your body, and in your soul. I know for me, I, from a very young age, put up walls and like kind of like made a box around myself when it came to my own emotions. I have always really wanted to handle all of my problems or my situations that I was dealing with on my own. I always thought I was strong enough to do it on my own. And now in my marriage, there are times where, you know, Alex knows that there's something wrong, and he'll even say to me like, you know, talk to me kind of thing. And I will completely shut it and like bottle it up. And I think a lot of people would probably be surprised about that with me because I am so open and vulnerable in my day-to-day life. But I think, you know, my life hasn't always been rainbows and butterflies. And I think that through life, once we learn to be more vulnerable and we open ourselves up to people, it can really add so much more abundance into our life because one, we're creating deeper bonds and relationships with people. We're also creating more freedom for ourselves. Like, that's why I wanted to bring this one up, because instead of living in this box or creating this wall, we can flow through our feelings and we can be open about them. And I think that that's just really, 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 really important. And this is one that, you know, I want to stress probably the most, is just allow yourself to be vulnerable. And if you need help doing so, definitely listen to The Power of Vulnerability by Brene Brown. It is a 6-hour talk, but it is so worth it. You can find it on Audible. Alex and I listened to the whole thing one weekend when we were driving out of town, and we just loved every single minute of it. And so I highly recommend it. So I'm gonna leave you guys there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to VIP Kid for sponsoring today's video. Definitely make sure you guys check them out in the description box. And I will see you all very soon in a new video. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up so that I know to create more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.